Well, I'm Jim and this is Flock, and we were formed in 2008 officially in a shed downstairs. Came up here in 2009 and we've grown ever since. Generally we do title sequences, in-program graphics, quick turnaround stuff. We just happened to have an email footer that explained what we did, and Richard Knight saw that email, the communications director for Bloodhound. We showed him various examples of what we do and he said, well, we'll give you a shot then. Gave us a commission for a film, and that was the first film we did about the Intel control systems in the car. And it turned out really well, and since then we've been in with the team and absolutely loving it. Well, the most recent film is about the Bloodhound rocket system, and they wanted a film explaining how the rocket system works. So we had an extensive lunchtime chat with Richard Knight again, and he took us through how the system worked, and then he arranged meetings, and we went to Cosworth to meet the various engineers there, and we got a picture in our heads of how the rocket system works. Then set about trying to work out how on earth we're going to show that in graphics.
So here's our main 3D package, Maya, and this is where we've built a virtual version of the car. So if I select around in here, we've got all of our components for the rocket system. And some of this data was provided by the team at Bloodhound and Cosworth. In some circumstances, CAD data isn't very usable for animation. It tends to be very heavy, in which case we have to process it, reduce it down so it's usable. So once we've got our scene and our various components, we can start thinking about what animation we need and how we're going to film it, if you like. So we produce an animatic, and this very quickly allows us to start mapping out cameras and give us an idea of how we're going to tell the story. At this stage it's nice and flexible, and you can get through the sequence fairly quickly. We knew that we needed to animate the oxidizer reducing in this tank. We knew that we needed a pump to be spinning up various speeds. We knew that we needed a Formula 1 engine and fluid simulations taking the oxidizer, from the tank into the rocket, and we knew that we needed lots of flames and action in here. So here we have our Formula 1 engine, and we've rigged up the engine to work exactly the same way as it should, to provide as much realism as possible. And we actually used a skeletal structure that you would normally perhaps use for animating a character walking around. Fire is always a good thing to animate with. It's just fun. This is a fluid simulation, not entirely dissimilar to the types of algorithms that are used to calculate the aerodynamic nature of Bloodhound itself. So here you see we've emulated fuel coming into the piston and being compressed, and we've generated a spark, and this fuel is then converted into heat and energy, which is of course driving the piston down. As you can see while we're working, it's very much a grayscale environment or wireframe. To produce the images that you see in the final film, this all needs to be rendered out. So we apply shading and lights to our scene to emulate the way light works. I then hand this off to Tom and various other render layers that I have, and he can then begin compositing them.
So this is After Effects, and this is the flames layer from the piston, and we composite that with the beauty layer, which is the colour, background passes, and then various other 2D effects. We included effects such as lens distortion, dust and particles on the camera lens. The actual animation of the camera is really important as well, but we wanted to keep it looking technical. So we've got layers like the lines here and sort of technical graphics which annotate the piece. So once we finish the work in After Effects and all the compositing, adding all the effects, we hit render, and then it goes off to Richard at sound design to add the final finishing touches to the piece and really bring it to life.
Getting involved with Bloodhound for us is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We all absolutely love it when one of these projects comes around. Everybody's happy and everybody's working all the hours they can to make it work. And in a few years' time, we'll be able to say we were involved in that, and that's going to make us all really proud.